Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, is a moment that we all look forward to. So it gives me immense pride and privilege to introduce our honorable chief guest, Shri Praveen Chakravarthy, a politician, a public intellectual, formerly a think tank scholar, angel investor, and a banker. After an engineering degree from BITS Pilani, Praveen Chakravarthy sir worked with IBM and Microsoft. Later, he got an MBA from Wharton and worked on Wall Street. A desire for public service led Chakravarthy sir to join the Dr. Manmohan Singh government in 2009, first with a unique identity program and then with the Prime Minister's skill mission. After the 2014 elections, he became a scholar in political economy in the think tank IDFC Institute, where he published papers in peer reviewed journals, articles in leading Indian and international publications. In 2017, Mr. Chakravarty became a full time politician when was invited to formally join the Congress party by then President Rahul Gandhi. He currently chairs two departments of the party, the professionals wing and the data analytics. Mr. Chakravarty is working on the two books, one on economic justice and other on India's federalism. He is a prolific writer, an active tennis and cricket player, a South Indian classical music and an enthusiastic cook as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, with a great round of applause, let's welcome a man with a great vision, mission, and a fountainhead of illuminating ideas. Let's put our hands together as we welcome Sri Praveen Chakravarty, our Honorable Chief Guest, Chairman, All India Professional Congress, former senior fellow politician, economy, IDFC Bank.
Mr. Manimaran, Mr. Arun Manikam, Mr. Natarajan, Mr. Sukumar, Mr. Satya, all the distinguished bankers, fund managers, financial intermediaries, Nbfc owners, and others, and friends in the media. Very good morning to all of you. எல்லோருக்கும் வணக்கம். நான் இங்க ஒரு அரசியல்வாதின்ற ரூபத்தில் வரல. I'm saying that in Tamil. What I said was, I am not here as a politician. I'm here first as a keen observer of India's economy, as a former banker, as a trained economist, as someone who's been on the boards of various finance companies and government bodies, and currently a professor in economics at Ashoka University. So don't worry, I'm not going to talk politics here. But I do want to acknowledge the presence of two of my colleagues, Mr. Sudhakar, who is the president of the Tamil Nadu's All India Professionals Congress, and Mr. Suresh, who is the head of the financial services domain of the All India Professionals Congress. I was not sure whether I should speak in Tamil or English, but then I was told that there are a lot of people from outside Tamil Nadu. So it's probably better that I speak in English. I must start with a story. And this story, for those of you in finance, you would of course know it, but it's not a very happy story. The year was 2007. I was the managing director of the French bank BNP Paribas in India. I remember I got a call in the afternoon in India time from my Paris desk, Paris trading desk. And they said, we are stopping redemptions in 3 of our funds. Since all of you are in the world of finance, you know what this means, redemptions from funds. So I said, okay, why are you telling the India head that you've stopped some redemptions in Paris of some investment funds? Why is that important for us in India? At that time, my head of Paris desk told me this could trigger a global crisis, a global credit crisis. And that's what led to the 2008 global financial crisis. For those of you that know, the global financial crisis was started at BNP Paribas Paris trading desk. And I was the India head of BNP Paribas at that time. And I just returned from a trip from Paris. So every time somebody mentions credit in finance to me, I've been wounded by credit. Not just me, all of us have been. All of us have been impacted severely by credit because credit is a double-edged sword. But does that mean we have to stay away from credit? Absolutely not. And I'm going to give you an example of why we should not stay away from credit. Mr. Sukumaran spoke about the importance of insurance with a lovely quote, Tirukkural quote. Mr. Natarajan spoke about a few other metrics in terms of the total number of bank accounts and deposits. I'm going to give you one metric. Everybody knows that Tamil Nadu is one of the most industrial developed states in India today. Why? I'm not here to say politicians should take all the credit for it. Absolutely not. One metric. That metric is credit to deposit ratio of the banking system. Do you know Tamil Nadu's credit to deposit ratio is 126%? That means for every 100 rupees in deposits in savings in banks, they lend 126 rupees, which means we create new money. For Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, that is 55%. This is the fundamental reason why Tamil Nadu today is one of the most industrialized and developed states in India. Because that's what credit can do. Credit is the fuel of any economy. Credit is about moving money from savers to users. And this movement of money, in economics we call this velocity of money. And this movement of money is the most critical aspect of economic development and growth in modern societies. The credit deposit ratio for India as a whole is only about 60 to 65%. For America, it's 120%. For Japan, it's 280%. For Germany, it's above 100%. For China, it's 380%. What does this mean? We need to increase the movement of money from savers, which is deposits, to users, which is credit. And we have a long way to go. And that is where all of you come in. All of you play the most important role of moving money from savers to users. We can give it many terms: credit and lending and NBFCs and private equities and venture capitals and mortgages and reverse mortgages and all this. At the end of the day, this is about moving money from savers to users, to people that need it and can use it effectively for productive uses. And that is the most critical function in any economy. And that role is being performed by all of you. So I'm actually very, very glad that there is that a conference or an event of financial intermediaries, people that move money, bringing all of you together. Because I've been to many, many conferences. I've been on Wall Street. I've served on the boards of companies of the Bombay Stock Exchange. I've served on committees in SEBI. And every time the discussion has been, how do we improve risk evaluation? How do we evaluate credit worthiness? And I remember the time when we used to lend before the days of CIBIL, and now CIBIL and many other things have come up. But if there is one thing I have learned from my experience both in Wall Street and in corporate banking in BNP Paribas, it is the role of trust. If finance is about moving money and you play that role, I don't mean to, just for simplicity purposes, you're essentially you're playing the role of a transporter. You're transporting something from one place to another. You're transporting money from savings to users, to people that need it. But the road on which you transport this, the cement for that road is trust. It is only on top of that we can have all other things such as CIBIL scores and artificial intelligence and all sorts of various metrics to evaluate credit worthiness. But we have seen throughout history, almost all financial crashes are caused by credit. Every single financial crisis in history, the trigger has been credit. The stock markets, equity markets react later. And this crisis is because we have somehow forgotten the role of trust, and we moved into either excessive, over-enthusiastic lending or excessive dependence on algorithms. So while algorithms, digitization, I know that's one of the themes of your event, are extremely important, they are just the tar on the road. The cement is trust. And many people talk about debt markets, credit markets. There are two major schools of credit. One is a market-driven credit system such as America and UK. The other is savings and banking system-led credit such as Japan and Germany. It is no surprise that more crashes happen in America and UK that are dependent on credit markets than those that are dependent on savings and banking system based credit. Of course, Japan has also seen its crisis. But markets tend to think of, when we talk about markets lower the role of trust. But when you have banks and savings and financial intermediaries and institutions, then the role of trust becomes important. We can fill whatever, how many ever forms online. At the end of the day, if somebody needs a loan, someone has to say, this person is trustworthy. This person can be given a loan and we can expect monies back. We can have all sorts of collaterals and CIBIL scores and credit worthiness and all of that. And those are all important. They make it efficient. But the role of trust is very, very, very vital. So while we need to improve our credit deposit ratio, which means we need to improve our credit availability to entrepreneurs, to individuals, to households. But in that rush to grow credit, we cannot forget that role of trust. So I welcome all developments, all technological developments around credit. But I would also caution you to not disregard trust. And that has been my experience as a banker. And now that I'm in politics and I've served in various government bodies, I remember what Dr. Manmohan Singh, my mentor, the former Prime Minister of India, used to say. He used to always tell me, Reserve Bank of India and the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, are the two most important institutions in this country. And we have to ensure that these two institutions are never ever politicized. He understood the importance of the banking system and he understood the importance of markets, equity markets and credit markets. Some of you may know that SEBI was set up by Dr. Manmohan Singh when he was the finance minister under Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao. So, if we have to prosper as a country, we can do that only not just through headline GDP growth, but by making capital available to that small and medium entrepreneur, to that household that wants to start a business, to that individual that wants to take a loan to go study, to that individual that wants to buy a push cart to sell some goods. And that can happen only through proper financial intermediation that is based on the cement of trust with efficient technologies on top of that. And so I want to conclude by complimenting the organizers for putting together this wonderful event, this extremely important event for the nation's development. And I wish that many more such events are held across the country, not in the big cities of India, but in cities such as Coimbatore and Agra and in Bengal and Bihar and in other places. Because this is what will lead to inclusive growth of our country. Thank you. Jai Hind.